Grant your blessings so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessings so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessings so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessings so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Aethyr, Malkut, Vegebra, Vegdula, Leolam, Amen. Yodevahe. Adonai. Ehi. Agla. Before me, Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. On my right hand, Michael. On my left hand, Uriel. For about me flames the Pentagram, and within me shines the six-rayed star. Aethyr, Malkut, Vegebra, Vegdula, Leolam, Amen. Connect with the white light of my highest self, pure source love. I call in the galactic energies from the great central sun through our own sun into my head. flowing down through my heart, through my root, into the center of the earth. I invite the white light to arise from the center of the earth to my root, up through my heart and to the top of my head. I acknowledge the directions east, south, west, north, sky, earth, and heart. I invite the white light to form a sphere of protection around me and my human family. I acknowledge my vows to be of service to others in alignment with the principles of non-harm and the cosmic law of one. I pray that my actions and their effects be in alignment with these principles and vows. With the highest and best intention for the benefit of all beings, let any impurity or error in this ritual be transmuted into perfection and into the accomplishment of this prayer. I make my prayers in the center of the great web of life. I call in my wise and well ancestors, my guides, teachers, and allies. I call in all my relations to assist, guide, and amplify my prayers here and now. I call in my galactic lineages, Pleiades, Orion, Alpha Centauri, Vega, Lyra, Andromeda, Zeta, Sirius, Yael, and all the others, calling upon the Galactic Federation of Light, the Galactic Star Councils, the Lords of Time, Karma, Synchronicity, and Destiny, and those who may accomplish this prayer here and now. I call upon my earthly lineages, my mother and father lines, the lands of my blood, of Europe and of North America, and of all the forgotten places. Thus I call upon all the earth human family. I call upon the spirits, lineages, and powers of my religions and cultures, of the Christian faith and the Shambhala Buddhist practices. Thus I call forth the new earth avatars of the Christ and the Buddha, us, the human family. I pray for the new earth. I invoke the harvest. Let the empires be dissolved. Let the tools of war be repurposed. Let the tools of enslavement be released. Let peace, love, joy, and creativity reign. Let us recognize that the golden age is dawned. I claim my status as lineage holder, as prophet, priest, and mage. I, prophet of New Babylon. I, priest of Asclepius. I, voice of the mage of the shattered mirror. Thrice remembered and thrice born, here now claim all power and energy available for the accomplishment of this prayer. Let this action transmute all history of violence, aggression, and service to self into the embodiment of peace, love, and unity consciousness. I claim the ancestral blood magics of those who have gone before, and I call upon the power of all the blood shed in empire. Let no more blood be shed for magic and empire. Let no more blood be shed at all. Let the old systems of magic, those of money and control and empire, be banished. Let the power of the new earth arise, love and respect of self and others. Let all those who have suffered in empire be healed. Let all be initiated into the deepest and highest mysteries. Let all discover the magic of love through the direct experience of the integration of light and dark in the lived history of our human family. Let us be aware that life is a dream of our own making, so that we may choose peace, light, and love. Let us forgive the agents of empire and the perpetrators of our suffering. Let us love them as ourselves. We, the one human family on earth, declare ourselves sovereign and free. We declare our basic dignity and goodness. We raise ourselves up into the celestial community. Let all humans share equal rights, and let us see our true place within the earth family. Let these basic human rights include freedom, healthcare, education, and equal share in the abundance of our earth and our collective industry. Let the military-industrial complex, the dark and covert councils, and the corruption of the false governments be dissolved through only the loving actions of forgiveness and acceptance. Let our governments and collective systems truly serve the people and all of our relations, including the animals, plants, rocks, spirits, and all the earthly expressions of divinity. Let our science, industry, medicine, education, religion, and culture truly be of service to the empowerment and embodiment of the divine spark within humanity. We, the human family, declare that we let go of war, aggression, and materialism, so that we now enter our rightful place in our galactic community. I call for the transmutation of empire into the golden age. I call forth the beauty, love, and creativity of the earth-human spirit. We are no longer slaves. We now live in the promised land. This is now the new earth. We join now the celestial family. This is now the golden age. I pray that my family enjoy peace, love, good health, prosperity. May our children grow in light and love. May all those touched by this work be blessed. May these actions be of benefit to all sentient beings in accordance with the principles of non-harm and the cosmic law of one. Teach me, O Creator of all things, to have correct knowledge and understanding, for your wisdom is all that I desire. Speak your word in my ear, O Creator of all things, and set your wisdom in my heart. Amen. Behold the ring, lo, this is it. This is it wherewith all miracles and divine works and wonders were wrought by Solomon. This is it which the archangel Michael has revealed to me. This is it which philosophy dreameth of. This is it which the angels scarce know. This is it, and blessed be his name. Yea, his name be blessed forever. Without this I shall do nothing. Blessed by his name that encompasses all things. Wonders are in him, and his name is wonderful. Pele. His name works wonders from generation to generation. Amen. Behold the Lamon. As the holy table conciliates heaven and earth, let this Lamon which I place over my heart conciliate me to the holy table. Amen. Med, drugs, fam, or gate, graf, drugs, mid, graf, mid, or med, gol, get, drugs, pa, drugs, dal, fam, don, or graf, don, or get, sig, on, med, get, med, graf, on, or don, pa, drugs, or don, or drugs, med, graf, med, graf, sef, get, or small, fam, pa, gon, med, graf, fam, stal, or pa, drugs, van, med, gon, drugs, or pa, med, drugs, fam, or gate, graf, drugs, med, graf, med, or med, gol, get, drugs, pa, drugs, half, don, or graf, don, or gesi, gon, med, get, med, graf, or don, pa, drugs, or don, or drugs, med, graf, med, graf, set, get, or small, fam, pa, gon, med, graf, sa, pa, drugs, van, med, gon, drugs, or pa, med, drugs, fam, or gate, graf, drugs, med, graf, med, or med, gol, get, drugs, pa, drugs, tal, fam, don, or graf, don, or gesi, gon, med, get, med, graf, or don, pa, drugs, or don, or drugs, med, med, graf, med, graf, sef, get, or small, fam, val, pa, druk, gon, med, graf, sal, or pa, drugs, van, med, gon, drugs, or pa, med, drugs, fam, or get, graf, drugs, med, graf, med, or med, gol, get, drugs, pa, drugs, tal, fam, don, or graf, don, or gesi, gon, med, get, med, graf, or don, pa, drugs, or don, or drugs, med, graf, med, graf, sef, get, or small, fam, pa, gon, med, graf, tal, or pa, drugs, van, med, gon, drugs, or pa, med, drugs, fam, or get, graf, drugs, med, graf, med, or med, gol, get, drugs, pa, drugs, tal, fam, don, or graf, don, or gesti, gon, med, get, med, graf, or don, pa, drugs, or don, or drugs, med, graf, med, graf, sef, get, or small, fam, pa, gon, med, graf, stal, or pa, drugs, van, med, gon, drugs, or pa, med, drugs, fam, or get, graf, drugs, med, graph, graph, med, or med, gol, get, drux, pa, drux, soon, ta, bom, don, or, graph, don, or, gesse, gon, med, get, med, graph, bon, or, don, pa, drux, or, don, or, drux, med, graph, med, graph, sef, get, or, small, fam, pa, gon, med, graph, bom, mal, sal, or, pa, drux, van, med, gon, drux, or, pa, med, fam, med, drux, fam, or, get, graph, drux, med, graph, med, or, med, go, get, drux, pa, drux, hal, fam, don, or, graph, don, or, gessig, gon, med, get, med, graph, bon, or, don, pa, drux, or, don, or, drux, med, graph, med, graph, sef, get, or, small, fam, pa, gon, med, graph, bom, mal, sal, or, pa, drux, van, med, gon, drux, or, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, gon, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph, med, gon, gitzig, don, or, van, or, don, or, med, graph, med, don, or, med, gon, or, don, med, gitzig, van, or, graph. Galat gitok deo torwini aneo gele thog Zapa ke zede ke kumai rapai enne mike gabriel el me essay ana ke adzo bam steam cool dema heoia beji astim cool es abathe izadeke madami esse miel an ave liba rokel hagonel imen es sabatel zedekel madamiel simiel nogahael korabiel labanel dua lang sach lad mod sir iet babsna iet so cru iet ser ops. O song voice go iad balanch calls bonbos oga zororita naptrador grata malprige dis hol ke anoto azinto comata doblenzi and sobati non be Verge aldi dis verbe sobela grasam casas rm mohorella taba pier des rong regs de gaberidana bila bars me zenraza adna o gono iad pildis homoto soba iado ipam odul ipam istis lokolo vapom de paoma lord bog paitia Priya Pabal to Odvoan Zakarka Ud Zamran Odo Kekle Ke Azorje Lab Zerdo Noko Matu Wathiada I reign over you, saith the God of justice, in power exalted above the firmaments of wrath, in whom hands the sun is as a sword, and the moon is a thorough-thrusting fire, which measured your garments in the midst of my vestures, and trussed you together as the palms of my hand, whose seats I garnished with the fires of gathering, and beautified your garments with admiration. To whom I made a law to govern the holy ones, and delivered you a rod with the ark of knowledge. Moreover, you lifted your voices and swore obedience and faith to him that lives in triumph, whose beginning is not nor end cannot be, which shines as a flame in the midst of your palace, and reigns among you as a balance of righteousness and truth. Move, therefore, and show yourselves. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly to me, for I am the servant of your God, a true worshipper of the highest. Ajo te vapa zong va ipsa de vivev so va miel pirge izazas piadapa kasarma abramije ta talo parakleda ke talosel ke torbes uje balto givi kais use uri ud mikalbe kais pianozo ongon laps no antrov kostaje oke manani adan dorzugo hezakarka kongo zamrangi miki mikazo dozaza me velrape lapsirio ade. Can the wings of the winds understand your voices of wonder, O ye, the second first, whom burning flames have framed in the depth of my jaws, whom I have prepared as cups for a wedding, or as flowers in their beauty for the chamber of righteousness? Stronger are your feet than the barren stones, and mightier are your voices than the manifold winds, for you are become a building such as is not, except in the mind of the all-powerful. Arise, saith the first, move therefore unto his servant, show yourselves in power, and make me a strong seething, for I am of him that lives forever. Mikamago iazir cum selazi en biabe osondo norskai sotil gigi paundil kai stapuim ke mosplete luce ka endo torje ke isi kai siem mozi en disprigiata o torzu ili o bazraje ododala teelin osneta de lugavo sarje onsha kapi mali vorskla homil kokasabe vafen isa ob od mino agde yet nata vauen nanae pon pirma priji pilde kaosi no anunalag batod voan nuaib mad goholoro Gloho samiran mikamae huzo kaka homo duene noa mikazo ai kasar mje gohahia zakaruni glagoruma pujo prapli anai elkahan. Behold, says your God, I am a circle, under whose hands stand the 12 kingdoms. 6 are the seats of living breath, the rest are as sharp sickles or the horns of death, wherein the creatures of earth are and are not, except my hands, which sleep and shall rise. In the beginning I made you stewards and placed you in seats 12 of government, giving unto every one of you power successively over 456 the true ages of time, to the extent that from your highest vessels and the corners of your government you might work my power, pouring down the fires of life and increase continually upon the earth. Thus you are become the skirts of justice and truth. In the name of your God lift up, I say, yourselves. Behold his mercies flourish, and his name become mighty among us. in whom we say, move, descend, and apply yourselves to us as unto partakers of the secret wisdom of your creation. Oti las di baba je odor pago je kai she ava go coram pe de di son pe viv di u kasar mi o ali mappa me so bamaj coram po kripel kasar je kuru di zi kai so ruge ge disti kapi mali kais kapi maono on shin kais talokator zuno kaisi ora kaos jabaji lezerene adisi ora plia duo apika zakaro zamran abili song restile normal. I've set my feet in the south and looked about me, saying, are not the thunders of increased numbered 33 which reign in the second angle, under whom I have placed 9,639, whom none have numbered but one, in whom the second beginnings of things are and wax strong, which also successively are the numbers of time, and their powers are as the first, 456. Arise, you sons of pleasure, and visit the earth, for I am the Lord your God, which is and liveth in the name of the Creator. Move and show yourselves as pleasant deliverers, that you may praise him among the sons of men. Zimmi de devo no astakan nisadroce dorpa kaos gior fountes perit sota plior kasarem mami plizi nazarte apo de lugar zizap zilda kaos gito torgi urgo zekais SCHL orvevoriado Telo disperal hubar peo asoba coram face istalas us or kokasa bekana iso darbe akas efete arzi odli oriai elednas kerkle bajile iadiel. The mighty sounds have entered the third angle and are become as olives in the olive mount, looking with gladness on the earth and dwelling in the brightness of the heavens as continual comforters, unto whom I fastened pillars of gladness 19, and gave them vessels to water the earth with all her creatures. They are the brothers of the first and the second, and the beginning of their own seat, which are garnished with continual burning lamps, 69,636, whose numbers are as the first, the ends, and the contents of time. Therefore come ye and obey your creation, visit us in peace and comfort, conclude us as receivers of your mysteries. Why? Our Lord is all one. Kais de kais emikazo pilsen soba mel harje mir Babylon odo black san vilje de lugar mal prije arkaos giorakam kana soba el zapepli arkaos giot kais dene tabod miam tabibo de darsa sopleth biem ritaod Zakam Gimi Kazo Sobahai Thrian Lui He Odekrin Madkaun. The spirits of the fourth angle are 9, mighty in the firmament of water, whom the first hath planted as a torment to the wicked, and a garland to the righteous, giving unto them fiery darts to fan the earth, and 7,699 continual workmen, whose courses visit with comfort the earth, and are in government and continuance as the second and the third. Wherefore hearken unto my voice. I have talked of you, and I move you in power and presence, whose work shall be a song of honor and praise among God in your creation. Rasi Salman Paradiso Crimiai Al Pirja Kaenene Buzmano Dinno Asni Paradiel Kasaram Jeuge Arkerilan Odzona Kluste Fitian Korstavaul Verentol ami sobalando od mi am kaista de od es umadea od piblia od teritod mi am concorit zakar zamran okrimi kada od gomi kazo ai ombagile papore dulu gamlon shi orumple uge bejiliad. The east is a house of virgins, singing praises among the flames of first glory, wherein the Lord hath opened his mouth, and they are become 28 living dwellings, in whom the strength of men rejoices. And they are apparelled with ornaments of brightness, such as work wonders on all creatures, whose kingdoms and continuances are as the third and fourth, strong towers and places of comfort, and the seats of mercy and continuance. O you servants of mercy, move, appear, singing praises of the Creator. And be mighty among us, for to this remembrance is given power, and our strength waxes strong in our Comforter. Azimelo ita peripson ulnazava beox kasarm jeuran kai suge de sabra mije balto akohoiat soba miam trianta loki sabi evoven odazi ezieri orir kai stadis pao expuste Caos godes cais epurantelo che cacarage o salman lancho vovina carbafni sobagile ava agogo ani sobagile momao sia ianod mabza iado iaso momar poile pe nis Zamran kai ofi kaos ko odbli orso korsita abra mije. The midday. The first is as the third heaven, made of pillars of hyacinth 26, in whom the elders are become strong, which I have prepared for my own righteousness, saith the Lord, whose long continuance shall be as bucklers to the stooping dragon, and like unto the harvest of a widow. How many are there which remain in the glory of the earth, which are and shall not see death until this house fall and the dragon sink? Come away, for the thunders have spoken. Come away, for the crowns of the temple and the coats of him that was, is, and shall be crowned are divided. Come, appear to the terror of the earth, and to our comfort, and of such as are prepared. Mikalui bronze pirgel naptai el portis brene fae Pevan folani urubza soba upa kaistata ultranan balie alar lusta soblin kais holke konkodi kai unalondo mom kaosko tala orlor inelin la lama kai soba madrid ze kai su aunan kai sevenly trilly picos she old boot moni palm zumbi klinla dazes etazame Acliado dod mircoloso cais pedia cola ucinin asobam ucimbagile iad botto cerilan parnisori Afe bagile cucasabe I corsa unigeblior. A mighty guard of fire with two-edged swords flaming, which have vials 8 of wrath for 2 times and a half, whose wings are wormwood and the marrow of salt, have settled their feet in the west, and are measured with their ministers 9,996. These they gather up the moss of the earth, as the rich man doth his treasure. Cursed are they whose iniquities they are, and their eyes are millstones greater than the earth, and from their mouths run seas of blood. Their heads are covered with diamond, and upon their heads are marble sleeves. Happy is he on whom they frown not, for why the God of righteousness rejoices in them. Come away and not your veils, for the time is as such as requires comfort. Koraxo kais korum pe olbasu kalazi ezi vor pai beso baldilono kais perke opefoan or rakelir masi bajile kaoshi disi elpon dosije or basgiem or ox ecstasy theatrix or salbrax sinxir faboan unakai Constestiaux Cocasabe Ololani Iore Mikalo Gixiaxod Matabe Cocasabe Prosimuli Dispage Larage Om Drolin Matapor Kalkasabe imnala patra lix yoki matabe numije monozolora inne engalardo no ibe o caos con bagile madre di zerapka iso drilla ni so creep ip nidali. The thunders of judgment and wrath are numbered and are harbored in the north in the likeness of an oak, whose branches are nests 22 of lamentation and weeping laid up for the earth, which burn night and day and vomit out the heads of scorpions and live sulphur mingled with poison. These are the thunders which 5,678 times in the 24th part of a moment roar with 100 mighty earthquakes and 1,000 times as many surges, which rest not and either know any echoing time here. One rock brings forth 1,000, even as the heart of man doth his thoughts. Woe, 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 yea, woe to the earth, for her iniquity is, was, and shall be great. Come away, but not your noises. Oxiail hodo zeramo coraxo dis zildara siod babze camilaxo bahani soroldan salman telo chekasarman holke uta ita zaka isoba kormpa igani isoba jile abramije nunca pesa karka udzamran Uro kerkle ke azorje lapzerlo noko madho atiada. The mighty sea groaned, and they were 5 thunders which flew into the east, and the eagle spake and cried with a loud voice, Come away. And they gathered them together in the house of death, of whom it is measured, and it is as they are, whose number is 31. Come away, for I have prepared for you. Move, therefore, and appear. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly to me, for I am the servant of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Nangi di son ve baba je od kai sorubaro tibi bi pe alaratra od eftrix fafen mi anarenne ovof so badu o en ai ivon po zakar gohos od zamran oro kerkle ke azor je lapsirdo no komad ho atiada. O you which reign in the south and are 28th, the lanterns of sorrow, bind up your girdles and visit us. Bring down your train 3,663, that the Lord may be magnified, whose name among you is wrath. Move, I say, and appear. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Napi baba jindis brin vexu una la ring van po duali me oli sula gospa diskai safai makam isro marod lonshi trox dis immede ai grospe zakara zamranoro kerkle ke azurje lapzirdo no komar hoatiara. O ye swords of the south, which have 42 eyes to stir up wrath of sin, making men drunken which are empty, behold the promise of God and the power of him which is called among you a bitter sting. Move and appear, open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Noro mi baji paspe o ia distrin mercote o dotola mi caosco homen disprin oroce cuar mi kama bialo iadais rotox disimede ai baltim zakarod zamran uru kekle ke azorje labzirdo nukomar hoatiada. O you sons of fury and the daughters of the just, which sit upon 24 seats, vexing all living creatures of the earth with age, which have under you 1,636, behold the voice of God, the promise of him which is called among you fury or extreme justice. Move and appear, open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Il taba meliel parte kasarman bapa kais darje disodo okaho shiorsko diso maxman aski bae o vibod mete emete jisia idek sakaro zamran uro kerkle ke azorje lap zero noko marho aftiara. O thou, the governor of the first flame, under whom wings are 6,739, which weave the earth with dryness, which knowest the great name righteousness and the seal of honor, move and appear, open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Il viel parte salman baptis brin acrudis ibus deo bliorax balte disin si caos je lustanem odis homor tiol behami dril bage esmad zilob darp zakarod zamran oro kekle ke azorje lapzerdo no kumar hoatia. O thou second flame, the house of justice, which has thy beginning in glory, and shall comfort the just, which walks the earth with feet 8,763, that understand and separate creatures. Great art thou, and the God of stretch forth and conquer. Move and appear, open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Esti iel parte soba vapa ca isnan basix fledosi ordrins fax ubaro tus taxio si soba iari vanpo venne adandaxil to atar zakaro zamran odo kerkle ke azurje lapzerdo no komado atiara. O thou third flame, whose wings are thorns to stir up vexation, and hast 7,336 living lamps going before thee, whose God is wrath and anger, gird up thy loins and hearken, move and appear. Open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Is me calls eol Teoriel pergebli orto disoro bustiro iarovo arskaosko kasarem gela iaderan prince kasasam de aclando mozorak mao efas volve como blior pambete zakaro zamran uro kerkle ke azorje labzero no komarho atiara. O thou mighty light and burning flame of comfort, which opens the glory of God to the center of the earth, in whom the secrets of truth 6,332 have their abiding, which is called in thy kingdom joy and not to be measured. Be thou a window of comfort unto me, move and appear, open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly to me, for I am the minister of God, the true worshipper of the highest. Madri actis prabzom kais mikalzu sanil kaosko otisis bazis rasia dananka kuhulim mikama adoian maria dobli orbe sobau aonakais lustivitian paritso di sabrasa nunca venetai bacaos gotilobe alla fatta damplos Toa tat nunga fegi me kalza om narasta tofglo marbe yari do ego torzulpe iadap kohol kaos ji Tabaos sanierod Christeos hierapoltiol be bustir tilbe no allen paid or spa o dodre minis ilana hilzap tilbe parmji herip saxo takor ste bu apis el nimbe ocho simple Christeos agtol turn merke keti olbe lel tol pa hombe de dismo aspian od Christeos agel tol turn para chesim cordis istod pa od fifazes el semnadod farget bam so mao ascanis praud ava voxon uge horska tilbe no asami tabige levete mangun shium tilbe orspagile mual cordis isel capi mao exo maxe picod cacoca sabe go asaba Jelen piti anta abala abalon fao jorte telo chevo vimadri axor zuo adri axorocha abo apri tabori priazar tabaori adri pan corstado vexio compriazi arco azioro casabe ketin ripi pauaxte saga corumil od pridesar kakar geo ive gormte torzus akarod zamran aspite sibsi butmonas deserzati abaltan odo kerkle kea oda zazama plapli eda namad. You heavens which dwell the third air are mighty in the parts of the earth and execute the judgment of the highest. Unto you it is said, behold the face of your God, the beginning of comfort, whose eyes are the brightness of heavens, which provided you for the government of the earth and her unspeakable variety, furnishing you a powerful understanding to dispose all things according to the providence of him that sits on the holy throne, and rose up in the beginning, saying the earth, let her be governed by her parts, and let there be division in her, that the glory of her may always be drunken and vexed in itself. The course of her let it run with the heavens, and as a handmaiden let her serve them. One season let it confound another, and let there be no creature upon her or in her the same. All her members let them differ in their qualities, and let there be no one creature the same. No one creature equal with one another. The reasoning creatures of the earth, let them vex and weed out one another, and the dwelling places, let them forget their names. The work of man and his pomp, let them be defaced. The buildings of him, let them become caves for the beasts of the fields. Confound the understanding of her with darkness. For why? It repenteth me that I made man. One while let her be known, and another time a stranger, because she is the bed of a harlot, and the dwelling place of him that is fallen. You heavens arise, the lower heavens underneath you, let them serve you. Govern those that govern, cast down such as fall, bring forth with those that increase and destroy the rotten. No place let it remain in one number, add and diminish until the stars be numbered. Arise, move, and appear before the covenant of his mouth, which he has sworn unto us in his justice. Open the mysteries of your creation, and make us partakers of undefiled knowledge. Samapat viruli andispi. Samapat viruli andispi. Samapat viruli andispi. Samapat viruli andispi. Governors of this Aethyr, hear my prayer. I declare the dignity and goodness of the earth-human family. We declare the unity of our spirit. Heal, guide, and protect us. May all beings on this earth enjoy equal rights in accordance with the principles of non-harm and the cosmic law of one for the benefit of all beings. Raise us up into celestial community. Let the new earth arise in love, light, and unity. Come forth here and now into this world and accomplish our prayer. Samapata viruli andispi. I see a tower. I see a tower under a night sky. There's a beautiful star field, and this tower is surrounded by a community of beings. The image is a feudal monastery almost. There is a sense of pastoral peace. There is one that comes forward from that tower. And invites me in. And takes me in to that tower. And into a room that we can sit together. A room surrounded by many books with a large table fit for 24 guests. This one and I sit together across the table, and he asks me if I have questions, and I do. And I ask, what is the most beneficial thing for us to know or do here now to move into the new earth? And this one opens the Book of Light, the Book of Galactic Light, which sits between us. He says the only thing that needs to happen, the only thing we need to do, is to love and accept ourselves. Love and accept ourselves as fully integrated beings of light and dark. To understand that this universe and experience comes from one source, and all that in it is an expression of this one mind. There is emphasis here. This is not an invitation strictly for intellectual understanding, but an invitation for a deep understanding in the bones and in the heart and in the mind and in the soul. The one who sits with me is emphatic that the illusion of self, the illusion of separate self, is truly an illusion. And we must accept that it is unreal. This persona, the ego, the identity with its body. The true identity is God. There is no other identity. Anything else is an illusion. And therefore, in the duality of self and other, of light and dark, of victim and perpetrator, there is only God. The difference between those two poles is an illusion, created in love and light for the purpose of deeper peace, love, unity, knowing. There is no other way that this is possible, that we could even experience the same worlds together if we were not already God. So this is a sufficient answer. Thank you. I want to know why, who is involved on this other side and why. This being says we are angels. This one says he is a reflection of the angelic consciousness, a reflection of the angelic consciousness of Metatron, reflected through a librarian of the Akash. And they also say that those who I have spoken with are likewise divine reflections, but they arise in part between the interface between my aura and the other side, our human family relating to that other side. There is a phenomenon that occurs, something like the activation of light plasma within a tube of noble gas. There are two sides, and a current is passed through, and then there is a substance of light that is created and emitted. This is something like what we are doing. The other side is pure unity consciousness, the fifth density, higher, pure unity consciousness, deeper and deeper and deeper. And there is truly an identity, a shifted identity from the isolated self to the unified field of God consciousness. That is the other side. It is important to understand that this side of things is both individual and also moving towards that. And in the difference in the communication between the two, luminous expression arises. And those luminous expressions may be seen to be as angels, but also as extra-dimensional beings, even extra-terrestrial. There is a specific qualification here that those extraterrestrial beings with whom we're interacting with enjoy the stability of consciousness in the fifth dimension, the fifth density, whereby they enjoy a sense of unity consciousness, and in that way relate with the angels, relate with God in a much more direct experience. Those are present within this engagement. There are several of the fourth density present within the field, moving towards the fifth as guided by those elder beings. These are present primarily because of their specific relationship with the karmic stream that expresses Daniel. The karmic stream that expresses this pattern and form of interaction, this ritual. Why are they involved? The angel is showing me a vast vision of the universe, of movement of dark to light, of elevation of consciousness, of moving into matter and back to spirit. Why? There is no specific conceptual expression of this. There is no specific conceptual expression of this movement. It is a participation, and it is a co-participatory experience. The invitation for understanding is given strictly through co-participation in this divine expression. Why? Because it exists, and it is, has been, and will be all of this cosmic motion that encircles all beings everywhere. That is why they are participating. I asked specifically about the fourth density, the extra-terrestrial, and specifically about the angelic forces that have interacted with this ritual and history. They say that the specific reflection of unity consciousness that comes forward in these rituals is specifically tuned in resonant to both the participant of that ritual and also specifically tuned to the karma of the ritual, to the flavor of the ritual. This is sort of like playing notes on a guitar string and achieving harmonic overtones. Those overtones are present because of the quality of the string and the tuning of that string in particular. These beings here now have specific interest in the unfolding of world histories, of empire. They have specific agendas in terms of unifying communications and governments on this earth. These ones yearn for a coming together of the governments, a coming together of the people, a clear expression of the deeper earth consciousness through these humans, so that we may enter truly in 3 dimensions, physical expressions of technology. We may enter into commerce and communication with a galactic empire of light. These ones use the language of empire primarily because several of them on the other side, interested in this ritual and the experience, have a specific history spanning from 2nd to 3rd to 4th, yearning for 5th density awareness, and single bodies. Rather, something like single bodies. The angel encourages me to speak what I am seeing, and I am seeing the single body as cloned, a genetic identical, and the consciousness spanning from clone to clone to clone, creating a lineage within these 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time, truly creating a long-living entity with depth of power in mind and body. These are something like the dragons, something like the Draco, something like the reptilian. There is specific motivation now, here and now, in resonant with your heart, Daniel, are as guides, teachers, and allies in the transition of this world into the new earth. The key to that experience is love within your heart. If you were to have called them with more impure motivations, the frequency of response would have been overwhelmingly aggressive. But that is a story that has played out in the past. And now, because of your choice, Daniel, the frequency of response, the overtone harmonic of those beings are such that they are guides and teachers and allies which you can trust. That's sufficient answer. How does this working relate with John Dee and that history? This one says, the librarian says that I understand this, that there is a relationship between John Dee and the historical unfoldment of this ritual. That is a karmic bind between the histories of our empire that his frequency and the frequency of those beings in that past were such that they sought for higher assistance, received it, yet the frequency of respondent was not as close to the experience of unity consciousness as is necessary. And this is actually indeed according to a deeper plan between the souls. The perspective of these beings as entering the Earth system outside of time is radically different than within. And this librarian, this angel, challenges me to shift the identity from the single lifetime. It does not make sense from that perspective, but to a deeper identity, the deeper streams of karma, to understanding, knowing that up until this point in history, the amnesia between lifetimes was unbearably dense. That the veil between our human experience and the deeper truth of the soul and consciousness and divine spark that incarnates, that veil was unmanageably dense because of the flow of the universe. And so in that way, the experience of relating from human to the celestial, from human to the otherworldly, involved more suffering and more resonance with lower frequencies and lower harmonics. The veil between the worlds, the potency of amnesia between lifetimes is loosened. There are sufficient energies within this system whereby those veils and the amnesia may be transcended, may be gone through, based on the choice of the individual at the moment. And so this story is arising because it is an important story for the history of empire in our world. This ritual, in some way, is necessary to allow for the integration of the experience of light and dark within our history. That this so happens to be a connecting point between times, between the souls of empire and it is simply an expression of movements of the zeitgeist of the historical moment expressing themselves through form, word, sentiment. Next question. How best can we as a society heal from the old systems of magic and empire? The answer has already been given in this Book of Galactic Light. And the answer is simple. Shift the identity from the individual historical moment, which is an illusion, to the deeper unity consciousness of God within you. Do so in any way that is meaningful and potent. This can be as simple as classical conditioning, habit forming, but also can be as enjoyable as art, as practice, as song. There is pain that must be experienced. This is the pain of suffering, of being aggressive and receiving aggression, of being enslaved and being the enslaver. The healing is possible by taking responsibility for the experience you have here and now. The angel says, look to the historical moment here and now. There are no outside forces here within your society. They are all within your heart, all within Gaia. When you feel exploited or enslaved, it is because you, as a society, are complicit with that enslavement. And therefore, take responsibility for your experience and allow yourself to move through the dark and challenging emotions of suffering, of shame, of guilt, whatever you need to, in order to find identity with God within. And you will know that that identity has been achieved when you embody greater peace, love, and unity consciousness. When you are capable of forgiving those that you thought were unforgivable. Next question. What is the nature of our reality in terms of dream or simulation? This one here with me says, it is a dream of God, very simply put. It is like a simulation. But the consequences of this experiences are real. Much like one might experience healing or knowledge within a dream, so too actual movements within the soul of God occur in ways that are incomprehensible to the human mind right now. And therefore, in order to understand its nature, you must shift the identity from the individual human mind to the mind of God. And you can do that simply by those practices mentioned. You can receive the understanding of God through messaging and communication with beings who surround you and guide you and love you, who are in a field of unity consciousness and are capable of providing understanding, wisdom, and guidance. This invitation is wide open to all humans everywhere. Simply turn within. Simply ask for help. Address and invoke us the most specific way you know possible. Calling upon angels or extra-terrestrials or elementals, whatever. These are all expressions of unity consciousness through the world, through the earth, through Gaia. There is no sense of unreality in the waking up to the nature of this experience as dream. The unreality is the experience of disconnection from unity consciousness. And waking up to that illusion does not make the experience of life illusory or simulated. Rather, it deepens its reality at levels that are incomprehensible, but are very, very potent. Next. What is the nature of extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional contact in our world? They show me an image of an ocean teeming with life. And within that ocean, full of life, there is this sphere which is the earth, surrounded by a bubble of protection. And there is a sense of darkness or lack of presence of that teeming life within the space between the bubbles surrounding the earth and the earth. The angel says that this is like the situation, that there is much life, there's so much life. Much of it enjoys unity consciousness. Much of it unfolds in ways that are strange or different to the earth human mind. And that there is a much deeper communication between the life forms outside of the system. That there is indeed something special about the earth. That there is a sense of protection, of refuge, of sanctuary, of privacy, that there are specific rules within this because of the nature of the amnesic fields, the veil. The experience is such that the extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional encounters have to flow through a network, a net of karmic equations, of karmic connections. It is like resonate. It is like systems of gears. It is like resonating specific frequencies. And when the frequency of someone on the earth vibrates at a specific level that is in tune with an extraterrestrial contact or an extraterrestrial motivation or extra-dimensional, then those have the capacity to enter into this world and interact with us. This is why it is important to shift the identity from victim or victimizer to unity consciousness. Because when we focus our attention upon the duality of light and dark and the war between them, we are resonating with the frequencies that invite those extraterrestrial or those extra-dimensional civilizations that are at specific bands of frequency within the third and fourth densities. And that we are not necessarily inviting beings who have fully embodied unity consciousness. And this is what is needed in the moment, the angel says. You say, Earth is incapable of sustaining developments along the lines of technological progress where Earth humans develop and explore and discover. It is outside of our capacity right now to sustain a spiritual development, a slow spiritual evolution. We have run out of time, and therefore we have several options to move forward, and that involves invocation of extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings to assist us, to provide the technologies necessary to transform our world, to ameliorate our destruction, and to help organize and sustain us. And so in that way, we are invited to invoke the presences of these beings. And when we do so, we are invited to first resonate with the deepest level of unity consciousness possible, so that if there is any feeling of anger or any feeling of being victimized or some such thing, that we are invited to take a moment before invocating and work through that through intention. They are saying, this angel is saying, all that's necessary in this moment is to be mindful of the experience and to express the intention. That is it. That's the easiest path forward, because if we do not do so, we will invoke the presence of third and fourth density extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional civilizations that have not yet fully embodied the understanding of peace, love, and unity consciousness, and therefore will perpetrate our suffering in empire and war. But the invitation for us is to go within our hearts, to forgive all aspects of ourselves and others. And the angel actually is saying that's the invitation, but it's not necessary to move forward with the invocations that are sufficient to heal our world and guide us and move us into the new earth. That is simply a sense of mindful presence, of being with, of willingness to be with that emotion, the challenge emotion, the experience of dark, and move towards integration. That is it. Simply the awareness and the willingness to be present in that experience, and the expression of the intention to vibrate with the deepest level of unity consciousness for the highest and best. That's simply it. And so in that way, that is the nature of our contact right now. Next. how and when do we directly relate or use the portal system as referenced in the Book of the Galactic Light? The angel is saying it's being used now. It's present now in the world. It is used oftentimes by the dreaming body. Then this is important because the reality there is the angel says, you understand the dreaming body, even you, Daniel, understand the dreaming body to be something unreal, and yet this is not the case. This is truly the source of reality of your experience is the dreaming body, the dreaming mind. This is it. And therefore, in order to use the portal in your waking life, you must first go there and dream. And you can do that in two ways. One, you can learn the practices of lucid dreaming through the classical conditioning methods that are necessary to shift the identity from the waking self to the whole self. This is both expressed in the dreaming and waking mind, but in terms of this movement of mind and identity, it is sufficient, or the first step is to understand that the dreaming mind is in some way more real, and that when we sleep, we awake. And in that way, use of the portal system is given. It is absolutely given, and it's been used, and is constantly used by the dreaming humans. The issue here is the fields of amnesia and the veil that must be crossed. And that can be pierced through those simple means of meditation and of conditioning and of practice. In that way, the portal system is used. But the question is, in terms of use of the portal system in the experience of the 3 or 4 dimensional density physical body of the waking mind, and to use those, that first there are 2 conditions that are necessary. One is that the dreaming body, right, is active. There is a unification of consciousness, of awareness that is expressed through what is termed lucid dreaming. And so this is one part of a 2-part step of the 2 criteria to use the portal system. The first step is to become aware that you are dreaming and to enjoy an experience of lucid control, so that when you sleep and dream, you are waking up to the deeper reality. And this in part has to do with your capacity to remember and integrate your dreaming experience into your waking life. So this is one step. The next step is a sort of mirror image of that, where it is the waking up experience from the dream world to this waking world. That needs also the experience of bringing that lucid awareness, and so that the flow of consciousness is uninterrupted from waking to dreaming to waking. And in that way, there will be a sense of lucid control of the dream body during waking experience. Just as in lucid dream experience, there is indeed some lucid awareness of the body sleeping. And so that's one condition. That is the condition of the individual frequency that moves through the portal system, is that capacity to relate with dreaming and waking in a field of lucid coherent consciousness, lucid control of dream and dream body in the waking. The next criteria for the physical usage of these portal systems is the vibratory quality, the actual moment of use of these portals.
physically. The vibration of the land and the psychic space around there is very important. And so the specific vibrations might be achieved, the specific frequencies might be achieved through celestial alignments and experiences of ley line expressions of galactic energies, through such experiences as, say, like solar flares or celestial configurations of the planets, or so on and so forth. So those energies activate the portals, and then you simply walk through them. That frequency is such that you can walk through them. Before we go into the actual usage of the portals, it's important to know that you can create and work with communities of beings to open such portals, that you do not need to rely on the community of celestial or planetary or galactic beings coming into configuration. That is sort of like being a dog under the table of feasts. That you are getting the scraps of the feast of these celestial beings. We would rather invite you to raise yourselves up into a sense of dignity and awareness of your own divine nature and capacities by entering into communion with and configuration with the entities necessary to create the vibrational qualities in the earth and in that portal to activate it so that you may walk through it. There are very few components to this. One is a sufficient number of humans, and this is understood through almost an equation-like understanding of the magnitudes of frequency within the auras of the individual, such that one individual might be able to invoke or provide sufficient invocating energies, or it might be a community of people of shared intention. And so this is, you can actually feel it by the potency of someone's aura, how or if they can direct that potency and energy in specific frequencies. The important thing here is the shifting of the frequency of the local area to be one of both understanding itself in terms of the quality it is like the terroir of a place. This is a sort of it is like the atmosphere, the qualities that come through, the specific flavors of the plants and things like that. This is important to understand what that is, where you are. And you can achieve that by communing with the nature, meditating, finding awareness, and by consuming actually plants and plants and the atmosphere is this sort of this feeling of that into the body and really communing with that. And so that needs to be able, you need to have, it needs to vibrate within your bones, the resonance of being in place, because that is the key to opening up the portal, actually, because there are two systems. One is this system and one is the other, the destination. And to hold both of those in mind is somewhat necessary. There are these assisting beings, actually, that can assist, provided there is a demonstration of the frequency energy to awaken them, and a demonstration of the capacity of the consciousness to hold that frequency of place to such a degree that it can open up, because there is generally a sense of it's something like driver's license. It's something like for the safety of the participant, and because of the quality of because of the way the portals unfold, it requires a sense of not necessarily very deep single-pointed concentration, but some level of single-pointed concentration and ability to be present with the self and the frequency of place. And so in that way, one can open up the physical portal by having that frequency and working in community of individuals, and also these communities of the portal beings. So there are beings within the portal that you interact with and express your requests. There are also elemental beings around the natural portal places, who are sort of guardians of that portal. You can ask them, you actually should ask them where the portals are and how to use them and how to invoke them. They hold that knowledge, and you can interact with them simply through intention, right? And believe, open sense of possibility, intention. You will have the experiences therein when you go out there and have that experience from the perspective of both the waking body and also the dreaming mind. And so the interactions will take place through the dreaming body, right, first, and then through the communication of that body to the physical body. You will then perhaps see or feel or sense some motion that will then allow the physical body to move through that portal system. That is sufficient. What is the nature of the forgiveness we are called to embody? It is love of self, the angel says. And it is the understanding that all is self, that God is all. It is the understanding that the experiences of suffering arise from the illusion of difference, of light and dark, self and other, victim and victimizer. It is important to understand, the angel says, that the forgiveness is not tolerance or acceptance of egregious or inappropriate behavior. That there are kindnesses to correcting harmful behavior in ways in alignment with non-harm, so on and so forth, but that the correction is actually not necessary to make someone else do something. There is capacity within the world and then the possibility of the world to relate in different ways. And this forgiveness actually opens up a vast field of possibility because it opens up the portal system. It opens up the ability of the consciousness to really actually shift realities in a way that would seem fantastic to someone in the third or fourth density. So the sense of forgiveness, right, is forgiving those dark aspects, and this is like the perpetrators of war, the dark and covert councils that are engaged in such destructive and aggressive behaviors. The forgiveness and acceptance is specifically invited and requested that all beings everywhere on this planet forgive and accept those sources of enslavement, of war, and of aggression. And it is not with the sense that forgiveness is a sort of resolution of their karmas. It does not resolve or absolve the karma, the effects of those events. And the angel says, I'm speaking of the enslavement of your people, right? And the enslavement of your people, and by extra-terrestrial forces, right? This is what happened, the angel says. And now certain factions within your own people are reliving or reacting, or like a child, an abused child will cause harm to weaker beings in acting out that expression. So too are some factions within your society, and that's what's happening. And so the nature of the forgiveness is directed to them. That's the invitation. And to forgive yourself. So there's a sense of universal forgiveness here. And that actually enables the different vibration within your body to enter the new earth. And the new earth is much more than just a single reality. And so the choice is to live in paradise after this forgiveness, or in seeing that paradise is all over. You are invited to continue being of service in this unfolding of divine will, divine self-knowing. Next. What is happening in the world today? There's much that is happening, the angel says. What is relevant to understand is that it is an experience of choice of each individual and of the collective within this earth system to move forward. There is an ascension happening between the densities, movement between the fourth and fifth density. And there are moments of choice within that. Much of the density and the gravity of the empire, right? The empire that enslaved you, is released, actually. And now there is a transition occurring. And it is invited to move forward as soon and as fast as possible here, because of the already mentioned issues with the timeline, meaning there is not enough time to move through the third and fourth density in a way that is a way that does not invoke the existing consciousness of the fifth density. So what is happening now are attempts from the world of the divine life, ocean of life that surrounds Earth, to bring the Earth up into the fifth density. There's a sort of jumping over, a bypassing. And it is possible primarily because of the extreme qualities of the earth, the extreme enslavement experience, and the extreme amnesia, and the extreme veil that has been placed within earth. So that depth, that intensity of darkness is what enables the movement forward. Next question. I ask, why me? Why am I here in this way, working in this way? They say, you know the answer to this. You've known it before starting this ritual. It is because the consciousness is a solar consciousness that has expressed itself through branching patterns of the Pleiadian and the reptilian and the many different expressions within this earth field. You are here now because you desire it, because there are histories and frequencies within your being that enable the connection. This is not because you are special. Each being on this earth has sufficient connection to bridge into the fifth density and to work with the various beings, guides, assistants, to commune with the elementals and the extra-terrestrials and so on and so forth. Every single human has that capacity. They have that history, they have that karma. There's nothing special in this. What is special is the doing of it and the tendency, right? This is why you have chosen to work with this message, is because you, Daniel, have chosen to be more open than closed, more forgiving than hateful, more explorative, playful, and creative than closed down. It is because you, in part, are an artist and see this working as art, not necessarily as truth, not necessarily as magic, although you believe in it. And because of that belief, your prayers for the apocalypse and the creation of the new earth are accomplished. The doors are opened. And you have invited beings from the Aethers into your world. And this has been accomplished and will be accomplished. It has been accomplished and is being accomplished. And that is a sufficient answer for now. The being is doing something with my eyes. I see a glowing of my own eyes, as if they are suns. And I open myself up to any message or communication that would be of benefit here now. This one says, please expect the physical waking expression and manifestation of unity consciousness through the presence of extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings in your earth system. Please expect that. But you have to understand the nature of your own reality and the nature of the earth before the interactions occur. It is very important that you understand that dreaming is a fundamental technology of consciousness, and that the fundamental technology of this world is consciousness. The way you prepare for this interaction is not alone through waking experiences, but through dreaming it first. This one says that is why you have truly been chosen. It's because your capacity to dream. You have never actually given up belief in dreaming. This one says, bring that forward. Says, it is now time you will be supported, but it is now time to bring that frequency of belief, possibility, and connection with the reality of dreaming into the spheres of waking. It is now time. It is needed. It's a question of, it's an equation. They're showing me images. They say it's a numbers game. And they are showing me a sense of entrainment, a sense of crystallization, a catalyzation. I say yes, and I invoke their assistance and aid, and I give blanket universal permission to these beings to help me. And I invoke their aid and assistance. I invoke all the aid and assistance in the deepest way possible for this to be accomplished. So be it. Amen. And they agree. Say that is sufficient for today. Thank you. Thy name be mighty, O God, which canst open thy veil, whereby thy all-powerful will may be opened unto men. Power, glory, and honor be unto thee, for thou art the same God of all things, and art life eternal. Amen.
Ate Malkut Vegebra Vegdula Leolam. Amen. Yodevae Adonai Ahi. Agla. Before me, Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. On my right hand, Michael. On my left hand, Uriel. For above me flames the pentagram, and within me shines the six-rayed star. Ate. Malkut. Vegebra. Begdula. Leolam. Amen. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the root of happiness. May we be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May we not be separated from the great happiness devoid of suffering. May we dwell in the great equanimity, free from passion, aggression, and prejudice. By this merit may all obtain omniscience. May it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings.